Chris Sale is now an Atlanta Brave. And yes, I did break this news. I don't care what anyone wants to say. I was on it first. I could have actually tweeted it out an hour and a half before I did. And I could have tweeted out the Vaughn Grissom part because I knew that as well. I should have just done the whole thing. But sometimes you don't know, like with these sources, how much they really know. But this guy has given me plenty of news before that I haven't tweeted out. And finally, I was like, you know what? I'll tweet this one out. Your boy has sources. Watch out for me. Anyways, Chris Sale's an Atlanta Braves. In terms of name value, I don't think you could have gotten big. We talked about big names. I mean, Chris Sale is in my opinion, he's a Hall of Fame pitcher. Injuries have obviously derailed his career once he turned past 30. But the Braves aren't taking a ton of risk on here. I mean, you're talking about $24-25 million potentially, and they could move on after this year. And when you look at what Sale has become, even since the injuries have taken over, there's two things that he hasn't lost. He still strikes out batters at a ridiculously high clip, above 11 batters per nine, and he doesn't walk batters. And so if this guy's healthy, we're not just talking about some guy that's going to be a back end of the rotation arm. Like, his stuff is still there. Like, he has the potential to be the guys that we were talking about, the Dylan Ceases, the Corbin Burns. He still has that kind of stuff. I mean, you go look at the FIP, you go look at the advanced metrics, like all of that still lines up when he was one of the best pitchers in baseball. So there's risk because you give up a guy like Vaughn Grissom. We love Vaughn. Congrats to him. I'm glad he's going to be able to go play every day. But the reward potentially here is something I don't think enough people are excited about, from at least what I've seen from Braves Twitter and stuff like that. I don't like the potential upside here is as high as it could possibly get with any of the names that we've been talking about.
Yeah, there's so many different aspects in this trade that I'd like to talk about. Bounce some ideas off you. The risk to reward, there's certainly risk with acquiring a pitcher like Chris Sale in exchange for a guy, Vaughn Grissom, elite contact bat, ready to start every single day, 6 years of team control, has all the right intangibles to be a team guy, championship caliber player, and all that kind of stuff. But the fact of the matter is he wasn't going to start over Ozzie Albies. He couldn't start over Orlando Arcia, and he wasn't going to start over Austin Riley. The acquisition of Jared Kelenic also made it kind of unrealistic to expect him to start in left field. So once again, we're sitting here in 2024 as we were in 2023, where there's not exactly an obvious role for him. So what did Anthopoulos do? He tried to maximize his value. And what he thinks, Anthopoulos thinks, is it's Chris Sale. Now, to your point, the guy just struck out like 29% of batters, which is only like 2% lower than his career best. So like you said, the guy still got the stuff. And to the injury part, Anthopoulos went on 92.9 and spoke about it at length that, before the Tommy John surgery, the guy was kind of an Iron Man. He's very durable. The Tommy John surgery happened in 2020. He came back. And then the injuries from that point, Anthopoulos pointed this out, that they weren't necessarily arm related, and some of them were just freak accidents. I think there was a dirt bike incident or an ATV incident. He got a comebacker off his pinky that broke his pinky. He did have something with a fractured shoulder or something. There was a bunch of not forearm tendon issues, is what Anthopoulos was getting at. So the injuries. He is turning 35. That is a concern. You trade a valuable trade chip like Vaughn Grissom for a guy who is only going to cost the Braves $500,000 in 2024 with no financial ties in 2025 unless the Braves pick up his club option. You kind of like that, especially if this is what Ken Rosenthal thinks, is that the Braves believe he could be a Charlie Morton 2.0. And that $20 million price tag in 2025 certainly matches the Morton price tag this year.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love this deal because not just what it means for now and what it means for the future. And I know people are going to be like, oh, Chris Sale's not part of the future. We still have Charlie Morton potentially retiring. We still have Max Fried potentially leaving in free agency. But when you look at all these moves as a whole, and this is something we'll talk about a lot going into the offseason, because I think Anthopoulos has done a brilliant job of setting this team up for success this year and potentially going for a World Series this year while leaving everything in the future still up. He didn't trade any of his top arms. He didn't trade any of his real top prospects. The only valuable trade chip that he traded was Vaughn Grissom. And like you said, there was really no place for him to play. Like, you kind of had to move on from him at this point. Now you have a loaded rotation if Chris Sale can stay healthy, and your luxury tax balance, your stuff, it is so clean for next year. You are $70 million below the luxury tax projected for next year. So we can go out and do whatever the hell that we want in 2025. Go look at the payroll this year. The luxury tax payroll that we have is like 270, 275. It might even be higher than that, $1 million. We're like $100 million less than that. So think about, if Max Fried stays healthy, he's going to be a Brave. We're going to be able to offer him whatever he wants. Look what the Dodgers did. The Dodgers can spend limitless money, but you have to think with Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani, and all those guys, Max Fried is probably not going to be their top priority. So Max Fried, he could easily stay a Brave. You pick up Chris Sale's option. You go out and get a big free agent that you like better than the options this year, or something like that. So he's done a fantastic job of setting this team up for sustained success beyond this year, and not just, and even 5, we're already set up for 5, 6, 7. He's setting us up for 9, 10, 11, and giving you a chance, the best chance to win a World Series this year. So I think he's done a brilliant job doing all of that. And I think Braves fans are going to be really happy with Chris Sale. I hope he can stay healthy. Obviously, I can say that about every single pitcher, though. I can really say that about every single pitcher. But I think when they watch this guy pitch, I mean, it's going to be exciting to watch. I can guarantee that. And then talk about the clubhouse dynamic. You can talk about it. But this guy we've been wanting, ever since we got eliminated from the playoffs, we wanted a savage. This is the definition of a savage. That kind of heat, that kind of fire, what he's going to bring, that postseason experience, that's what we've been talking about all offseason. They're able to get that for essentially Vaughn Grissom.
No, guy's a dog. Guy's a dog. I mean, this move is certainly going to impact the regular season. But as I said it in a blog, go check it out, sportstalkatl.com. This move was for October. I mean, Chris Sale's got postseason experience, helped the Red Sox to a World Series. The guy's an absolute savage on the mound. He's a dog. And I know I call Max Fried a bulldog, but Chris Sale's the kind of guy who's going to yell in a batter's face and like get in a fist fight on the biggest stage. He doesn't care. And I think that's going to resonate throughout, a clubhouse that isn't, soft by any means, but is less, in your face. I'm going to, shout exactly what I'm going to do to you and then go and do it. So I think, especially the rotation, I think he's going to provide immense value for the rotation. And he gives you another southpaw similar to Max Fried, but it's a completely different style of pitcher. So now you got Spencer Strider and Charlie Morton, throw them from the right side, Max Fried, Chris Sale from the left side. I mean, that's as good of a top 4 as any in baseball. Oh, yeah. And then there's an all-star Bryce Elder who could potentially start Game 5, who probably won't.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about the veteran experience as well, what he does to the younger pitchers in the locker room. I mean, think about A.J. Smith-Shawver, Hurston Waldrop, all these guys, even the Hosker, as the Ian Andersons of the world, Bryce Elders. Like, there's a lot. Now there's so much veteran leadership in this clubhouse. There's now so much postseason leadership in this clubhouse, a little more dog in this clubhouse. I just don't see the negative side. I mean, if Vaughn Grissom goes out there and becomes a Hall of Famer, that sucks. But, he probably wasn't going to be a Hall of Famer for us.
Probably not. And you know what has to be factored in all of this is the price of a starting pitcher is astronomical. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. On the free agent market, you got bums who have sucked for 2 years getting $15, $20 million per year. And then on the trade market, I mean, they're asking, 3, 4 of your top prospects. That's what Anthopoulos said. Now, he didn't mention who exactly it was. We all think it's going to be Corbin Burns and Dylan Cease. Obviously, those are the 2 hottest names. Are going to cost your 3, 4 top prospects. So, the price is astronomical.
Yeah. Coming up after the break, Arthur Smith, is he done in Atlanta?